Smooth transition. The man-sized mix play.
Finally, it's Friday. The Masters teed off yesterday. Some surprising scores. Are we headed to a national lockdown? All that and more coming up in today's Wade and Carter show. I had nothing. Making stuff up now. No, I'm just kidding.
You're kind of Canadian dress attire. Business casual.
It's kind of hot in here, isn't it? Hurry up. Hurry up.
I am hurrying.
Hey, good morning. Brent had to go adjust the thermostat because it's a little warm in here this morning. So he'll be right back. There he is. Come on, man. We're trying to do a radio show here. You got one job in the morning.
You know, it's something when the winter of 2020 causes you to have to go turn the AC down.
No kidding. How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm good if my headphones work. Do you have a test? There you go.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
Let's do this.
The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. I saw Ms. Deerland last night. I told her for everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. She said she was enjoying the show and that the feedback had been, spotty. 70 degrees, and it's not fog. Look, they call it haze. Why is that? Is it haze?
Well, is that because we're, there's talk to legalize marijuana
Maybe
in this
that's
state?
what it is. It's coming down from Cuero. 70 degrees and hazy. If I say hazy and you don't think purple, you just weren't around at the right time.
Nah, it's foggy.
Heading to 84 degrees today. Look, National Weather Service dense fog advisory for Victoria County. How about that?
So they have a dense fog advisory, but it says haze. Not a dense haze.
Is that like the difference between moist and dank?
Maybe
damp?
so, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe so.
Moist is one of the most hated words on the planet.
We've got new equipment ordered to try to fix the audio, so bear with us, folks.
Are you getting?
No, they're not. But I don't want to spend half the show trying to fix it.
You're not getting any sound from us?
No, they're getting sound from us. They're not getting the audio. They're not getting through the board. That's all.
I don't understand.
So our microphones are there. I don't know either. We've tried.
I am not a happy tenant. Make a note.
Matt Boucher says we need some rain. We definitely do. I saw that our fire marshal is going to ask for a burn ban on Monday. So probably much needed at this point.
I thought we had a burn ban.
No, I don't think it's in effect. Judge Posey, good morning. Marvin Mickish, Bobby Leister. It is Friday the 13th. Chris Conrad, good morning. Leisterometer at 338 this morning. Lisa Poole, BJ Nelson, Scott Tomko.
Bad sound.
Condolences to Scott Tomko. Lost his dog yesterday.
Yeah, sorry, Scott.
Beautiful boxer. Sorry, man. I hate that. I know the pain.
JP from Pasadena, hello.
Andy Ria Jr., Patrick Strauss, Justin Glass. Chris Conrad asked when we're moving into the new digs. What, 2 weeks maybe?
Yeah, it's supposed to be over there around the 15th of no, it was supposed to be
before Thanksgiving, right?
Has not happened. Let's see what Caden tells me.
Randy Langston, good morning. There's Lacey Dearland Rosenquist checking in.
There you go. Caden said to tell you thanks for your purchase.
Thank you for my sausage and cheese box. Sheriff Louderback, good morning. Adela Mayer.
Hello, Sheriff.
Jeremy Pena says legalize it so people can calm down.
Keep going. What did Scott say? Scott knows things.
It's all about the bass, no treble.
Right.
Steve Kidder says sounds like we're at Moonshine. Scott Snow checking in. Jackie Dearland, good morning.
If it's the sound, is there not a way to adjust the sound? I mean,
it's not the sound. The mic isn't going through that into the iPad. We're just picking straight up off the iPad mic.
So they're just hearing us on that microphone. Then why don't I unplug that garbage?
What does it matter? It might. Maybe it'll kick in.
I don't. It's just
no. The mics aren't just for show. We're on the radio. Magic95victoria.com if you want to listen to the sound as it goes out over the air. in case we get a caller.
Paul Edmer says, hey, no electricity north of town in the mall area. Stoplights are not working. Please do be careful. I came in this morning and I was on the loop, so I just cut a chuggy south there at the loop in Navarro. But yes, you've got heavy fog and people in a hurry and ladies putting on their makeup at the stoplights and there aren't any lights. So be careful out there.
You know, and it wasn't even ladies that I saw this morning, 2 gentlemen.
Yeah, you've told me this before. I know where you're going with this.
And it's foggy.
And they're dumb.
And the one guy's got his head, he's driving like this. He's got his head out the side window because either his windshield wipers aren't working. He drives a gray Camry. I'm going to call this idiot out.
Hey, idiot.
And you were driving on the airline this morning between Maine and Navarro. So there. Can't get much more specific than that.
In a gray Camry.
In a gray Camry. Newer model, not brand new, but probably pretty close.
But had windshield wipers, folks.
His head is slightly out the window. His windshield is covered in dampness.
Maybe he's playing Labrador. Just put your head out the window, stick your tongue out.
And no lights on.
Yeah, I was on the phone with Ash at that time, and there were some really
choice words that we can't say. The seven words you can't say.
Golf course words.
And I wasn't telling my ball to stick. So, Steve Kidder says he saw a tire in the middle of the road on Maine. I didn't see that. Just a tire standing up in the middle.
And what was Steve Kidder doing going down Maine at this time of day?
Don't
pretend that he's at the office.
Yeah.
There's no way he's at. No, I'm watching on my Mac.
Jeremy Pena says maybe the guy's breath stunk.
Right?
True story. Amanda Smith King, good morning. Natalie Mayer, Jeff Fonseca says Ace Ventura style. Yeah, I was just
exactly. I'm sure T-Lat's in. Good morning, sweetheart. What about have we seen Judge Posey yet?
Yeah, he was first one in
this
morning.
Good. Good morning, Judge.
Bobby Leister says the Magic's 95 feet is good. Natalie Mayer says the iPad sounds good. I don't know. We kind of played with it a little bit.
I looked for the Judge last night. I went to the Ducks Unlimited deal. My buddy Dana Wagner called and had a couple of tickets and said, come on and let's go. And T-Lat said, let's go. And they raised a bunch of money. It was a good thing. Big crowd. I mean, I was impressed at all the folks that were there. And there were a lot of folks there from all over the region. No mask.
No masks?
I mean, the tables were socially distanced.
Yeah.
But everybody wouldn't walk around with masks.
Debbie Mendez, good morning. Steve Kidder says he's already at the office.
Wow.
I'm not sure I'm not sure how to take that, Stephen Kidder. He's trying to get out of there by noon, maybe.
Billable hours.
Yeah. Brad Miner, good morning. Bob Constantine checking in. Where was the event last night?
It was at the community center.
Okay.
Under the dome.
So a whole bunch of college football playoff games delayed this weekend. And now they're talking maybe this college football playoff being delayed as well as a result. What do you think?
When everything quit ending on January 1st and we started pushing back, the final game till later, wasn't it almost really in February last year? I mean, seriously, who cares?
Close to it.
Let them push it back. It won't hurt anything. It would be perfect for me if pitchers and catchers reported the day after the final football game.
Which would be the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, that's I'd rather push it back and let A&M go ahead and play Tennessee and let A&M go ahead and play Alabama and, yada, 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 get through. I was talking to an Aggie the other day who said he thinks that it's pretty much set that Alabama is going to play Florida in the
SEC championship game.
So honestly, aren't the Aggies undefeated at this point?
Yeah.
I don't know. How would Alabama play Florida when A&M beat Florida? I don't know all the inner workings.
Florida's in the East and Alabama's in the West, right? With the two divisions.
Are they? Does Alabama always play
A&M? I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Steve Kidder says California's hit 1 million COVID cases. They also have the most restrictive COVID policies. I think we talked a little bit, not about that, but pointed out yesterday that Italy has some of the most restrictive policies in Europe, the entire country complying with an inside and outside mask ordinance, as well as other restrictions, and their cases are skyrocketing.
And I don't know why, honestly, I don't know if Biden believes he just needs a major, visible differentiation from President Trump. If he's saying, no, we're going to do it extremely different, and then we're going to use the vaccine that the Trump administration generated, and then we're going to take credit for solving the problem. And I don't know if it's just politics, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of the mask. If I'm going to get it, I'm going to get it, and I'm tired of it. So, yeah, Judge Post says he hasn't been at DU in years. Leave that to the youngsters. It wasn't as exciting as it used to be. It was pretty low key.
Well, so CNBC is reporting this, so it's got to be legit if they're going to report this about Biden, right? Because they don't say anything bad or untrue about Joe Biden or the Democrats. They only ran for 16 months on Russia collusion, Steele dossier.
Never mind.
I sound like Sean Hannity here, but the lies that they ran with for 16 months, yet somehow still managed to stay in business is just amazing. But Dr. Michael Osterholm, who was one of Joe Biden's coronavirus advisors, said a nationwide lockdown would help bring the virus under control. And I don't buy it. We've taken measures. The cases go down. We open back up. Cases go up. We've done this seesaw 3 or 4 times. Some states, and Steve Kidder pointed out, California has never really restricted or unrestricted much of anything.
Right.
And they've still got 1 million cases. They've got, 55 million people or whatever living there. Who knows? But Italy's been very restrictive. Hasn't stopped cases from surging. Paul, I'm simply overthinking this thing. It's a virus. A virus can do what a virus wants to do.
And do Texans
the swine flu said, you know what? We're out of here.
So do Texans reject a national ordinance and tell Biden, take a hike? We're going to do what we want to do.
Torbale says Greg Abbott says Texas will not lock down again.
I like that. I want to see what happens. Does Joe Biden say, fine, you don't lock down? Guess what? We're going to cut your road funding. Is that what they do? What do they do?
They did it when they wanted to lower the speed limit to 55 across the country way back when, and they used that as the leverage to get Idaho to finally raise the drinking age from 19 to 21, because Idaho was the last state to make that move.
Right.
They withheld federal highway funds, and the Idaho highways are still crappy to this day.
It makes you wonder if is that the leverage they have, is to say, hey, if you don't comply, we're going to cut your funding.
J. Dub says Alberta's in a modified 2-week regroup. Jody Pickett says there's no conclusive answers with COVID. Exactly.
Agree.
But it doesn't take a genius to look at what we've tried to realize it hasn't been that effective long term. Remember, we were in a 2-week. Wow, we got to just pump the brakes for 2 weeks.
You see BJ's comment? No road funding. Okay, Texas will just have a gun raffle.
Yeah, won't affect Victoria much.
I like it. Steve Kidder says that he believes Biden is going to federalize the COVID response. Interesting.
And what part of the response do you federalize?
Just
President
make
Trump,
it a mandate.
President,
got to do this.
President Trump banned travel. Was it effective? I don't know. It's hard to tell whether. 233,000 people are dead. I don't know if that was
kept me from going to Cabo.
Well, yeah, kept me from taking a couple of vacations.
Right.
He got rid of the red tape so that Pfizer on Monday announced that they're ready to go with a vaccine that looks to be about 90% effective. And they'll be ready with it, December, January, somewhere in there. We've got a couple other companies in late stage trials as well. We told the auto companies to build a bunch of ventilators that we ended up not needing. So
they made the problem worse.
So your car parts were on back order. Anybody who needed repairs done had troubles getting parts, or because supply was limited, the parts prices went through the roof. People lost their jobs. Small businesses disappeared at a rate we haven't seen since the Great Depression. You know, reports to suicide prevention hotline are up. Reports of drug abuse have skyrocketed.
You think this will cause people to start applying for those loans again that the city had to do something about? I think they got up to like, what, 3 loans they finally gave?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Just wonder if anything's ever going to come of that. What if those loans are getting repaid?
I don't know.
I need to do a little research on that. I'll do a little research on that. You remember that when that was the big deal? We've got to do something.
Iceman says, mind your own business. Take a safe approach if you want to. Don't impede others and their way of life. It's a matter of personal safety and choice.
Totally agree.
Bob Constantine says, cut the road funding. We'll put a tax on oil-produced products coming out of Texas. You need gas? Well, most of the gas made in Texas.
There you go.
There, Torn Bales.
No road funding, no oil. That's Torn Bales giving you the Cliff Notes.
Yeah. He summarized
Bob Constantine wrote a
dissertation for. Yeah.
But Bob's going to get his PhD in Torrance, just sneaking out of JUCO with that comment right there. Just, hey, neener. No roads, no oil. Take that, government.
Brad Miner,
into anarchy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's discussion I had last night. Would that be the key to states just flipping the bird to the federal government and saying, you know what, we're out of here?
I could see Texas, if not formally seceding, obnoxiously deciding not to be a part of this program. Put it this way: if they try to tell me that I need to wear a mask in my home, they've lost their minds. And they're
telling you who you can have over and family that can come.
Yeah, and you know they're not going to do that before Thanksgiving. I mean, of course,
California's
not going to be here.
And I'm by no means downplaying the virus and the fact that it's killed a couple 100,000 people and it's sickened over 1 million in California, and how many millions in this country?
1 million in Texas. Confirmed cases.
Yeah. But that means 32 million people haven't had it.
Right. Or weren't confirmed, you know.
Well, yeah. But it still comes down to a virus. We don't have drugs that treat viruses effectively across all the myriad of viruses that affect us. It's part of the coronavirus, which is the common cold virus.
Nobody's talking about the flu season of 20. I mean, we're in November. I got a flu shot a while back, but nobody's talking about the flu. We're not getting the flu. Everybody's got corona. Interesting.
Yeah. And your Aunt Betty says, be careful. You'll end up on AOC's bad people list. Yeah, what was that?
She's just a weird lady, that AOC.
And I'm going to get to another one that the Daily Wire pointed out. My wife, Cheryl, in all her brilliance. This heated her up yesterday.
How old is AOC? She 40 yet?
No.
Because if there are survivors,
or Daily Caller put this one out. This is Jennifer Rubin.
Collectively, in essence, burn down the Republican Party. We have to level them, because if there are survivors, if there are people who weather this storm, they will do it again.
There's more.
She went on to say that
what we should be doing is shunning these people. Shaming these people is a statement of moral indignation that these people are not fit for polite society. Burn down the Republican Party. We have to level them, because if there are survivors, if there are people who weather this storm, they will do it again.
Can still live in a version of the bubble.
She goes on and says, if you
basically
need any of them, they will elect another Republican president.
Yeah. I mean, how are these? How is she even on? Still where she is, but imagine if a Republican came out and said that about the Democrat Party. They'd be probably up on terrorist charges.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows what they would be up against?
They want to shame you because you don't belong in polite society as they burn down your political party.
Yeah. Let's remind everybody which side of the political spectrum was looting, rioting. Which side of the political spectrum has been throwing a giant temper tantrum for the last 4 years?
Right.
All because their chosen one, Hillary Clinton, didn't win the election in 2016. And they're the ones still crying and moaning about this election.
So Steve Kidder says that Trump left the lockdown decisions to the states. Biden's going to federally shut down bars, restaurants, churches, like Cuomo did in New York. And yes, Judge, I do have some thoughts on that. I'm amazed that he thinks that would work in Texas. I just don't think Texans are going to put up with it.
No. Well, and all you got to do is look at the states that had huge issues. New York, one of them, because Governor Cuomo mandated nursing homes accept sick people when they weren't sure what was killing them. Put them back in there.
Judge Posey says, you got any thoughts on or comments on this Ross Ramsey opinion column this morning?
Yeah, let's take a break and then we'll get to that.
Yeah, we do. Alan's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Reach out to Alan. Let Alan Miller, Janet, little Alan come out, solve your problem.
578-6300.
Be careful on these wet roads. They always say, please, we'd rather be inside when it's foggy, wet. Be careful. Don't make it so you need them. But if you need them,
turn your lights on.
Nobody better to call. Turn your lights on, you bonehead, and your Camry. Your head hanging out the window. You feel better?
Yes.
The VCS companies, Rocky Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned or authorized AT&T retailer, all part of the Hartman Communication empire. You need surveillance at your home, a security system, surround sound speakers. You want
fire monitoring, CO2 monitoring. They can do it all.
They do.
They'll install it all.
All the way down to the simplex clocks, the old black clock that's on the wall at the junior high. They do all that stuff. They do it for contractors all over this region. They can do it all for you. Chesnick Furniture Company, you just do better at Chesnick.
116 West One Lynn, right down in beautiful downtown Victoria.
Corner of One Lynn and Bridge. Been there for 70 years.
They were around the corner on Main for the first 30 years of their existence.
It's crazy. Reach out to them. Let them sell you furniture right now, 50% off as they celebrate 100 years. And today's your last day for Veracruz. Call this morning, 576-6015. Get you a enchilada casserole to go.
Or maybe a pan of fajita meat.
Oh, man, it's fantastic. It'll keep all weekend.
It won't, because it'll be gone.
Well, that's true. You
Sunday.
mix it with your eggs. There's nothing like that beef fajita. Dice it up with your eggs in the morning. Get some of their hot sauce. Fantastic.
Oh, that might be the call.
If Veracruz did breakfast, they could, man.
They'd corner the market.
Yep, they sure would.
So,
folks, have the chutzpah to reach out and admit what you don't know, like we did. Reach out to John Paul Hull at Razor IT Solutions. Let him try to figure out for you your analytics, who's hitting your website, why they're hitting your website, how to make your website more effective, how to monetize things, how to tie all that to your QuickBooks, to coordinate the presence between Facebook, social media, and the internet. He can do it all. Does it for big companies. And he's kind of like a HIPAA guy. We don't talk about specific companies because he's in the encryption and protection business. You want him on that wall. You need him on that wall. He's JP Hull.
Judge Posey asked about the Ross Ramsey opinion column in this morning in the Victoria Advocate. I didn't see it. You kind of gave me your Cliff Notes version, so I'll let you espouse a little bit more. But I know enough about the topic that if I need to weigh in, I will.
It gives me great comfort to know that you're there if I were to need you about something you didn't read. Thank you. You never know. It just gives me, I feel secure now to go ahead and opine.
Been doing this for 4 years about stuff, not knowing what we don't know.
It's just do a bit, drag ash. Do a bit, drag ash. So Ross Ramsey writes, a Texas Tribune guy, and he put in an editorial into the Victoria Advocate today. Where is the guy's name Bonner or Bonin? The outgoing Speaker of the House.
Bonin, I think.
Bonin. Okay, it's Chip Bonin, I think. Whatever. Chip doesn't matter. What's his name?
Joe Bonin?
There you go. I need you on these things. This Bonin guy the Speaker, the Republican Speaker of the House, who is going out. The Republicans enjoy an 83-67 advantage in the House, and which includes like our Jeannie Morrison is one of the 83. So Alan West has said, look, I don't need, our governor is weak, which, by the way,
Matt Boucher, Dennis Bonin, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, Mike. So our governor is weak, and Alan West has called him out on it. I was a huge Greg Abbott fan, and now I am very, very apathetic at best about Greg Abbott. And he points out that Alan West points out he doesn't appreciate the deal making being done behind the scenes between Republicans who have a hefty majority and the Democrats. And that's good. And Bonin says that Alan West is irrelevant. He is a petulant child, a failed politician, still trying to get his father's attention. And that what he says doesn't matter. And he points out that Alan West is new to Texas and doesn't understand that these deals have been done this way forever, that when Gib Lewis was Speaker of the House, he's a Democrat, he had the support of numerous Republicans because that's just the way things get done in Texas. Well, my opinions on that are that Mr. Bonin needs to shut up and go away. He was not very popular in his role. And Alan West, I believe, is trying to draw attention and is trying to shake it up because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but our state is trending to the blue. And I think he's trying to galvanize and unite and kind of be, Republican first. He's kind of trying to draw a line in the sand and challenge state Republicans to unite.
One thing he stated on our show the other day was the fact that we're facing an enormous budget shortfall. And
$5 billion.
I think, wasn't that the number?
Yes.
And here's my concern. You start making deals to get support from Democrats. What pet projects that really shouldn't be a priority when we've got a huge budget shortfall become a funding priority because the speaker says so and uses his influence wields his influence to fund them when things that actually should be funded as a priority don't get funded where they need to be or don't get funded at all. That's kind of the way I took Alan West's message, that it's the backroom dealings and all that underhanded chicanery that goes on for that support that's going to be the detriment to the state of Texas in a time when we've got a huge budget shortfall and we're going to have to make some tough decisions on spending and priorities. And he thinks I kind of read in between the lines here, but and I kind of agree with him. I can see spending decisions being made that maybe aren't in the best interest of Texas because it's somebody's pet project or a little bit of pork that needs to go here, thanking somebody for their support across the aisle.
Now, see, I like the way you do that. You assume what Alan West thinks, and then you agree with your assumption. That's very Victoria Advocate-ish.
I didn't assume what he was saying.
I assume that, and I agree with him here. That's exactly what you said. I assume, and I agree with him.
Okay.
So y'all are right.
Yeah,
you know.
It's good. Just make sure you're paying attention.
Me and the Colonel go into town. My thought on this.
BJ Nelson says we have a huge rainy day fund. You know what? And yes, we do.
She's talking about white trash services.
Yeah.
She's just having a conversation with herself. They're set out there at white trash. They've got a huge rainy day fund.
My only concern with that is you keep moving the goalposts on what is actually a rainy day, and then when a true rainy day hits, you have no money left. The province of Alberta did this. They had the Heritage Fund, huge surplus sitting there. Government decided, well, we need a little bit more money. Here's the rainy day. Now things get worse beyond that rainy day, and they don't have the money there that they were hoping to have.
Right. So Steve Kidder goes, he didn't even read the piece. Nice. I did read the piece. I actually did.
I didn't.
No, you don't have to because you channel your inner
I do.
Alan West. you had it figured out. I think that he's
Kidder said,
really
"I'm going to word chicanery in every show." That's his new shot word.
that and the word interesting.
Randy Langston prefers shenanigans.
See, I say interesting. Things are interesting. Ash takes the time. Very interesting.
Well, I'm trying to stretch. It's only we got an hour to fill.
Hour show. We 27 minutes left. It's practically lunchtime.
Practically. I did not read it.
No, Ash didn't need to read it.
But I read other pieces that were critical that had similar quotes from Mr. Bonin. It wasn't in the Texas Tribune, but
I did stay in a Holiday
Yes,
Express.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of media outlets in the state making some hay with this story because of Alan West's comments.
And all it does is help Alan West. At the end of the day, I'm convinced that Colonel West is building a brand. I don't know if Colonel West wants to run for governor. I don't know if I can't imagine he would try to go back to maybe he wants to run for Senate. Maybe he wants to take John Cornyn's, maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe John Cornyn, who essentially is our version of John McCain, because John Cornyn is a worthless legislator. Worthless. This guy has so much seniority and so much stroke, and he never just makes a stand. He's always like, well, on the one hand, we can do this, and on the other hand, we can do that. We'll get together and get back to y'all. And
you stop listening because he never says anything.
He's a mamby-pamby Democrat wannabe. And maybe Alan West, it could be just that brilliant. I'm drawing a hard line in the sand. I'm a Republican. And if 83 to 67 tells me you got to figure Dallas-Fort Worth is blue. You got to figure San Antonio's blue. You got to figure Houston's blue.
The Valley's
blue. To have a dominant, I think Alan West looks at it as a red mandate, that people are tired of it, and people want the Republicans to be conservative Republican leaders.
Well, and I think the people of the Republican Party sent that message to the Republican Party when they elected Alan West as the chairman of the Texas Republican Party.
Yeah.
And I think there's some truth that maybe the Texas Republican Party or those that have been elected, and I'm not knocking Jeannie Morrison here because I think she's not in this boat, but I think there's a few that have been elected around the state that are no longer in touch with the Republican Party,
right,
and the way things have moved.
It's a good thing that you kind of took Jeannie out. She'll cut you, man. She'll shake you.
I've known Jeannie to be approachable and not out of touch.
She never liked you.
Officials.
She told me, I said, would you like to come on the show? She goes, I'd like to come on the show. Let me know when Ash isn't going to be there.
Steve Kidder says John Cornyn did nothing at the McCabe hearing a few days ago. He's also the one that asked that goofy question that I couldn't quite figure out the motive of what was on Judge, or at that point, she wasn't judge. She was a judge. She just wasn't a Supreme Court judge yet. Judge Amy Coney Barrett's notepad.
Yeah. I think he did that to throw her a bone. I think he knew that she didn't have anything.
Yeah, but it just didn't come across that way when you were watching it. Randy Langston says, I'm telling you, Vince McMahon's the puppet master running the show because it's been like watching a series of WWF.
By the way, I don't want you to get your feelings hurt. I was kidding. Jeannie Morrison never said she would come on the show because of you.
I know.
Okay.
She told me it was because of you.
Right, exactly.
She's a true politician. She plays both sides.
I never know what that guy's going to ask. Yeah, I think the Democrats they're growing up. I mean, I think there was a Texas Democrat that was a really fine Democrat that just doesn't exist, certainly on the national scale.
Adam Doctor says the Republican Party is starting to go left. We need to get our Republican conservatives back to basics and get our Republicans back towards the right.
Exactly.
Texas's Tea Party movement.
And that's what Alan West is doing. So I can't fault. And Judge, thanks for giving us that opportunity. I think Alan West is solid. I like him.
I do too.
I think he's a good conservative guy.
And he's fought to preserve the freedoms of this country.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the freedom to go to Atzenhofer today if you want a new car.
Such a reach.
I know. But Jeff Fonseca says he's already there trading in his gray Camry.
Since just days after the end of World War I, when Ed Atzenhofer started selling surplus Jeeps. Atzenhofer's been stacking them deep, selling them cheap, selling cars like candy bars.
Chevrolet, Cadillac, Mitsubishi, Mazda.
If you don't buy it today, they'll be there tomorrow. Right there on Motor Mile.
What's the one you said? The big racing Cadillac CTSV or something?
CTSV.
I bet you they can find you one of those.
Oh, yeah, they can find you one. If you see something you want, let them source it out for you because they have got the connections. Adsnover.com, you can go in there and look at all the cars. You want to have fun like you're at work. And last night, every time I went to the restroom at the Ducks Unlimited event, I said, hey, by the way, tomorrow is a holiday. Everybody just stay home, watch the Masters, and drink beer. And grown men were like, wow, wouldn't that be awesome? Well, yeah, we're going to work.
Yeah.
We're going to work until the government shuts us down.
Adsnover's there today and tomorrow.
But if you don't buy today, they'll be there tomorrow.
For all your new and used car needs, it's Adsnover and Adsnover.com.
White Trash Services, 550-1826. 550-1826. Reach out to BJ Nelson, Scott Nelson, and their staff. They'll be out tomorrow.
Cleanup.
And there's nothing wrong. If you didn't sign up, which you still can do, you can go and find the Cobra Cleanup on Facebook and sign up probably.
I'm sure you can.
You could just go and drive by and honk and wave and support these folks that are going to go out.
You can do more than that. You can actually stop, get out of your car, and help them.
Yeah. Don't bump Clint Ives with your vehicle, with your gray Camry. But tomorrow, Cobra Cleanup, we had Lorena Bargenbrook in here twice. Very excited that they're going to do this.
If she wants to come back, what's she going to have to bring? I mean, the bread was good.
Yeah.
But I didn't think you got up the
What do you do? She comes in with like, here's 5 pounds of dried sausage I made.
Homemade pies.
Yeah. There you go. So what does Adam Dodger say? I think we'll just kind of cut that break short. Anyway, look, White Trash Services is taking a dumpster out there. That's how much they get back.
Big roll-off. Have a trash-tastic weekend. Go help clean up the Inez industrial area.
Absolutely.
And start giving back. I think the city's got one planned for the south side this weekend as well.
There you go.
And don't forget Uncle Mutt's Barbecue. They're going to be out there.
Open about 11.
Feed people.
Yeah, they're feeding people.
They'll be open about 11 today. What's the daily special today?
It's a 2-meat plate with 2 sides. They're calling it a man-sized mixed plate.
And you get a 16-ounce drink too.
There you go. Get by there today. That's the special.
I had so many options the other day with the chili.
Like what?
I could have got a Frito pie. I could have got a chili, baked potato. I could have had I just want a bowl of chili. And boy, was it good.
They just looked at you like, loser.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Did you get a side of cabbage?
I did not.
Would have changed the tone.
It would have changed the tone.
What did Mr. Daughtry say? He's usually pretty sharp.
Yeah. He says he thinks if Mr. West gets us back on track,
Brad Miner just sent in his essay.
Then we'll be able to change the minds of those blue areas in Texas that changed blue because the Republican candidate isn't doing anything for them. Probably some truth to that.
I'm curious what you folks think. How do you feel? I mean, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. Change my mind. Is John Cornyn, I mean, I'll admit I voted for John Cornyn because I didn't vote for the Democrat, but I'm not thrilled with John. And I would tell John Cornyn, get John Cornyn to call us. I go, what have you done for me ever? What have you done for me, John? Besides be a handsome, statesmanly looking gentleman who's been in Congress forever. Feels like he's been up there my whole life. Clint Ives wants to know if that guy had a current. Ives would go buy that camera.
I don't know. The windshield was so covered in.
We have to explain to Brad Miner that if you're sending us comments on a live radio show and on your comment at the bottom it says "see more," if you type that much with your little thumbs on your phone while you're driving, we have a problem.
He doesn't have little thumbs.
We should read what he said though. He's usually pretty sharp.
We need to go back to morals and ethics on both sides of the aisle. You can have an opinion on how things are to be run, but if our government would ask the question, is this morally ethical or biblical before they move forward in anything, this world and this country would be a better place.
It would be more church-like. I don't know if it would be more constitutionally correct, but I know I agree with you. We need to elect moral leaders. I agree with that 100%. And then tell them, vote your conscience. Yeah, I agree. Now, what did BJ Nelson just say?
I'm trying to get back to it. Hang on. BJ says maybe that'll motivate others to call White Trash Services, 550-1826, order their own roll-off to clean up the house, barn, family, home before Christmas. They just took delivery of 5 new 30-yard roll-offs to help
Wow.
with you in your clean out or your remodel job.
Fantastic.
Man, we've been selling them short, 15-yard roll-offs. They got 30-yard roll-offs now.
Brad Meyer says, I'm not driving what? I'm not driving, you goofball.
There you go.
Okay. Well, he's talking to you.
Jeff Fonseca says 0518 is the date on that sticker.
Fonzie sent back. He goes, I'm going to trade in my Camry now.
He was the guy in the
Folks,
Camry.
it's uncanny how Ash will be driving, and I'll hear him. I can hear him go over every cattle guard because he's Bluetooth in his truck, and I'll hear him driving. What was that, cattle guard? And we'll be talking on his way in,
railroad tracks,
and he'll say he'll be driving, and he'll be talking about, well, today it's going to be a beautiful day. The sun's going to pull over, you bonehead. He's just like yelling, and there's all kinds of, what do you call them? Expletives and all these emotion-laced tirades. And then he'll come back and go, and it's going to be cloudy, and it's going to be just lovely. But he gets it out. He gets it out.
I don't care. I don't carry over my aggression and anger at some moron to you.
Right.
Because at that point, you hadn't done anything to tick me off yet.
Exactly. But it's just uncanny how many there are at that time of day. He'll be driving along and like, folks, it
surprises me how many there are.
Lights on. It's dark.
People drive with no lights on. It's dark and foggy. And I have to turn on to 87, and they're going down 87 between Cuero and Victoria, both directions. Usually there's one every morning.
And they wonder why they get a DWI.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't know why he pulled me over. He was profiling me. Yeah, he's looking for stupid people.
And stuff flying out of the back of pickup trucks. I can't tell you the trash I see flying out of pickup trucks driving down there.
That ought to be illegal, by the way. You should be accountable for what's in the back of your truck.
Kelly Frommy asked a deep question, maybe too deep for Friday, but we'll give it a shot. What on earth could be done to affect change in the culture of family, in quotes? How can we help people realize the value of an intact family and the influence of a father in the household?
Callie, deep question, simple answer though. It may be an answer that people just don't want to deal with on a
Well,
Friday.
the family unit is racist, according to some flyer I saw that somebody had posted on the left over the weekend.
But the reality is just as we could say that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every one of those days is literally the name of a pagan god from back in the old days. That's how we got the names. They're all the god of the day back then. The other side of it is, if you really want to, the family, the institution of the family is biblical. And the only way to return the importance of the family is to turn America to the importance of God. It's just is what it is. Otherwise, it's just fake morality. Well, we're just doing it because it's the right thing to do. Okay, well then that won't last in the long run.
If it guilts you into it, so what?
Right.
Better Strauss has an app you can report littering in Texas, and supposedly the state sends them a nasty letter.
Yeah, did you see up above it says Victoria has an ordinance on tarping your trailer?
Yeah.
They will ticket you.
Yeah. Anybody who's been to the dump knows that.
Don't forget to tarp your
I
trailer.
know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Tarp it. Before you back it into that garage, tarp that rig. Next week's a good time. Don't do it today. I'm telling you, whatever you do, don't you do it today. Next week, you call budget blinds. You get them out there, free estimate, blinds, plantation
More than an
shutters.
estimate, they'll come and consult with you and see what you want and maybe make a suggestion that's really not what you want.
Craig and Casey Houseworth are just great guys, great part of the community. Chamber of Commerce guys, pro-business, pro-Victoria, pro-local business, like all of our sponsors. And they will give you a free consult. Get out there to your home, and they will give you 40% off on a selected line. I think it's called Enlighten. An Enlighten
Blinds,
style
window
of
coverings.
blinds. Fantastic. Greg Garcia says, amen. God is the source and always has been. We're not, this is not an evangelist hour. But when you have things like the idea of marriage is, biblical. I mean, people are like, well,
Pagans had marriage.
Yeah, okay, fair. That's fair. So it's always been a bad idea, right? So, but I mean, all these things that are biblical-based institutions, and people then want to take God out of everything, and the next thing you know, whether you believe in God, whether you're Catholic or Muslim, whatever you happen to be, if you don't have without a God, there is no source of morality, right? Anything
our laws
goes.
are based on the 10 Commandments, right?
Right. So anything goes without some foundation of your morality. Otherwise, it's just whatever you feel. If it feels good, do it. I mean, that's a world void of whatever you did there. I think I just got electroshock therapy.
Yeah, me too.
But that's where it is, and it's something's got to happen. Robert Constantine says, invite more friends to attend church with you and allow them to see what God has to offer rather than the bars. Well, it's a legit point. And
do that though in country music.
Well, just Carrie Underwood would be singing gospel music then. You ever watch this?
She will.
Show,
you watch.
The Voice?
When she hits around 50,
oh yeah, she'll do an album.
She'll start piling out the gospel music, or maybe
sure.
some older country standards.
Hall of Famer coming in early and clean shaven. Must be a Friday outside sales call Friday. Ralph Salazar is already planned in the house. He looks happy.
Y'all keep that working?
No. We're gonna just probably move somewhere. It'll be all right. We'll miss you, man. We don't know where we're going yet. We can't. There's places we can't go back to.
No.
We know that.
Wherever you're going, though, the Great Barn can help you design it. Whatever event.
920-6803. It was good.
But it didn't. I had nowhere to go after that.
Just so few are chosen. 920-6803. Gray Barn.
Must be so gratifying that your gift is segues.
It's made me no money to be the king of Segway, the man of the mixed metaphor. I can do it all. Gray Barn Design. It's not Gray Barn Design. Ask Ash's wife. It's the Gray Barn.
The Gray Barn.
920-6803.
They do design.
Wind services.
I challenge Cheryl. If you're redoing a room, give her a call and ask her for her input. She's got a good eye for interior design as well.
There you go.
Don't want to limit her.
Give her a call. 920-6803. I had like half a dozen things I could have said. I'm just not going to go there on Friday.
Friday's the place you go. You forget about it over the weekend.
Wind solar panels. Now, folks, this is a hot topic. If you've got a commercial building, Torn Bales, you listening? You can put the solar panels on the roof and depreciate them 37% the first year. Essentially, over 3 years, you pay for them completely. Then you get the power for free. And it works on the commercial side. Carl Wentz said, I've run the numbers. I'm doing it on my own building. It just makes sense. It's free. It's free money. So, yeah, you pay 10 grand to him, but you take that 10 grand right off your taxes. That's the gist of the show. Yeah. And then, of course, USA Concrete Coatings. Christina Wise, you are right. Carrie Underwood has sang 2 songs at the Opry that blow me away. One is her version of Amazing Grace is unbelievable. And the song that Randy Travis wrote, the song that Randy Travis wrote about I Told You So.
Oh, yeah.
She's done it solo, and she did it at the Opry as a duet with Randy Travis, and he was moved to tears. He wrote the song. He said, that's your song. I wrote it, but I wrote it for you before you were born. That's what he told her.
Jeff Fonseca says he's a gospel singer in the shower. Solo, nobody can hear him. USA Concrete Coatings.
Fonseca looks down. Oh, Jesus, help me, help me, help me, help me. Help me, help me, Jesus, help me. Baby Jesus. Help me, help me, help me, help me. Is that all you got, Lord? Is that all you got for me?
There's a little
it's
more,
like the blues.
A little more sing-songy.
Is that all you got, Lord? Is that all you got for me? Someday I'd like to do more than just take a pee. All right. We're back live. We're solo. I like to make Ash laugh every now and then. It only happens on a Friday. He's a very serious journalist. There we are. USA Concrete Coatings, though, let them come out and fix your garage. Put the flex down, the polyurethane, antimicrobial, antibacterial. They've got it all.
Thursday night football.
Nah.
Colts trounced the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee wearing uniforms look like they bought them from the Toronto Argonauts.
Ash on fashion. The Argonauts, remember that? What is an Argonaut?
Some ancient sailor.
Okay.
Boats and oars.
Well, my Aunt Betty says, remember Kerry's first hit was Jesus Take the Wheel. That ain't got nothing on Cletus Take the Reel. Is that nothing? He says, and I got a cramp in my upper thigh. I'm going to have to play a little bit of that for y'all.
I didn't watch that game as much as I was watching the Boise State, Colorado State game. Had that one.
Well played, Fonzie. Was Randy Travis naked? Randy Travis has been known to show up outside of Paris, Texas, naked.
Yeah.
Walked into a convenience store to buy like a 6-pack naked once. Which, I mean, it's another facet to an interesting guy. But apparently he's lost his gourd.
Well, then he had a stroke. Remember that? Yeah. Boise State 52-21 over Colorado State. Wasn't good.
No.
Oh, my Cougs are playing Oregon this weekend. There you go. There's hope for you, man, because
talk to me.
This is what I love about the Masters. Every year, a former Masters champ who is long beyond being competitive week in, week out, doesn't hit it 300 yards off the tee anymore.
Right.
But still manages to be in contention for a day, maybe two, maybe three, and maybe this is the year where we see it into day 4.
No.
Former Masters champ. Remember he had that purple golf shirt?
Oh, you're right. It was in a white visor, and he chipped in to beat
Greg Norman. Right? Yeah. And it looked terrible with the green jacket. That's how you know you don't think you're going to win the green jacket, because you put on a shirt that absolutely clashes with the green jacket.
And I think Greg Norman just beat him up in the locker room after that.
Probably. That's my jacket! But Larry Mize comes in at 2 under yesterday on a day when I think the leader's at 7 under. Paul Casey, I told you international player was going to be in the running.
Yeah, 7 under is impressive. There were 22 players under par.
Tiger Woods goes 4 under, his best Masters opening round ever.
By the way, I think Tiger just won the tournament.
You think?
Yeah.
What are you trying to do over there?
T-Lat just pointed out that she hasn't heard from H.R. Mallory. I want to know where H.R. is. Maybe he's sleeping.
Probably in Austin.
I do not know that.
No. So Mize in at 2 under. I think Mike Weir, another former Masters champ, at 1 under. Ian Poulter, your friend, is even. Bryson DeChambeau, 2 under, right there with Larry Mize.
And had a double. I think had a double bogey yesterday.
Phil Mickelson, 3 under. He was at 1 under the last I checked, so he went 2 under in the final few holes. Jeff Fonseca says Freddie Couples lived in the top 10 of the Masters.
Yeah, Fred's awesome. Where is Matt Kuchar? You got a score for Kuch?
Yeah, let me see. I think I can search, but I don't know. I don't see Dustin Johnson anywhere on the list. Bernard Langer, 4 under. Bernard could
play now. He's the best golfer in the history of Germany for sure.
And he's still your boy Matsuyama, 4 under.
What about where's
Ricky Fowler, 2 under?
The young kid.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
He probably hadn't finished. No, really. I mean, they're finishing up round 1 today. So.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
There are a few that didn't get it done yesterday.
We don't have Morikawa. He's got to be there. He won the US Open PGA.
Let's see the score there. Freddie Couples, +3.
Yeah, Fred's done. I mean, but Fred's in his 60s.
So is Larry Mize.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, that should be your hero today.
Fred can still beat Larry Mize. Larry Mize grew up in Augusta. He's an Augusta local.
Yeah.
You know, it made his life to win the Masters.
Brad Miner says HR doesn't text and drive. So there you go.
I don't know where HR is.
He's probably on the road. He's probably patrolling our streets, making us safe in this fog, hopefully pulling over idiots without their lights on.
In Camrys. There you go.
So, did have something else on the list to talk
Scotty
about.
Scheffler,
I said something
UT player.
exciting yesterday.
Fonzie, how did Chef play yesterday? You know, I didn't see it. He's a big kid.
So the Pennsylvania court yesterday ruled in favor of Donald Trump. See this? Secretary of State had
it'll be
no
overturned.
business.
It'll be overturned.
By who?
Kamala. The Kamala Tola.
Secretary of State lacked any authority to change the deadline 2 days before the election day. These were on the votes that they were allowing to arrive late. They were then giving them extra days. Saw a report yesterday, too. A lot of irregularities with postmarks. Ballots that were sent out returned the same day. 51,000 ballots in Pennsylvania returned within a day. I'm not good on the U.S. Postal Service if they could actually turn these things around that quickly.
Right.
But you can't get a letter from here across town in a day sometimes.
Well, it's got to go to Corpus. Did you watch that video I sent you yesterday?
Yes.
What did you think?
Did you watch the one I sent that basically said the guy's out to lunch?
The one that I'm talking about where the guy said, hey, it goes to the Senate and all that? I think he's right.
From what I saw.
By the way, we ought to do one. It had 2 million views.
I believe it was somebody else came in and directly addressed that and said, no, it's only in the case of an electoral college tie.
I did not know that. Of course, he is saying if there is no consensus, it's got to be plus or minus 1% or whatever. Anyway, they're trying to determine how the Fonzie says that Scheffler's -1 in his first Masters start. He's a good player.
Take away Pennsylvania, add in Arizona, that puts Biden at 270. So, yeah, 51,000 ballots were marked as returned a day after they were sent out. 35,000 were returned on the same day they were mailed out. This is in Pennsylvania. And another 23,000 have a return date earlier than the date they were sent. How is that possible?
I believe that this next election, you need to.
And more than 9,000 had no sent date on them.
We're not just going to wholesale mail ballots out anymore. That's dumb.
Well, that tells me that's what's happening there.
Yeah.
We're pre-stamping some of these before they go out.
Yep.
Yeah. Shenanigans going on.
Chicanery.
But
we got to get out of here.
We do.
The Hall of Famer will be in here. I'm sure in a little while, Brother Gary Moses will show up as well. Hope you guys are having a safe weekend. Be careful on the roads. Let's do something we've never done before.
What's that?
Tomorrow, the low will be 66, the high of 88. Sunday, there's a 50% chance of showers and a high of 82. But Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, low 80s, 70s, sunny days.
There we go.
There you go. That's the Deerland Feed
extended forecast.
Extended forecast. We never did that before.
No, we haven't.
There you go. You folks have a great weekend. We love you. We'll talk to you Monday.
Bye, folks.
I didn't get that deal working?
Huh?
I don't think so.
I didn't get this working?
No.
Did you just put it part way?
I put it part way. I pulled it halfway. I've kind of put it all the way in and pulled it back a little bit.
He said that you were using let me see that again. Was this one or not this one?
I was trying every one I could find, to be honest.
He said that y'all were using the older model one at one time.
Yeah.
And it was like larger. Because he showed me on one of his
really?
phones. He said it probably widened the connections in there.
Oh, really?
I knew he'd blame us.
Yeah. That's what he told me.
I was using the one that was always second.
Was he all like,
to be honest?
feature windows? They fucked up my board. Yeah.
Is that thing still on?
You sure? We're probably still on YouTube, but that's okay.
Well, we are still on YouTube.
Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Bless you. I'm stuck. I can't get off of YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
There we go. Nothing coming up.
Yes.
Yes, I'll end it.
Yeah.